Ew, that's good. Oh, I'm sorry.
But it was fun, it was fun. They
It was
got so much
fun
further.
while it lasts.
It was so
My
fun.
husband
They
was
got-
so excited.
They got so much further than anyone thought. and
That's right.
They were,
Was like.
they've inspired so many people, sorry.
But the last year, what is this true?
Yeah. The last game.
And they were cool too. They were not arrogant. I mean, you know, the
Yeah.
players were cool, but
That's the Mets.
Yeah.
Jantos and all those
They're
guys.
surprised in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, survey results, gotcha.
Yeah, it's called 24, right? 24 survey.
So it's in the Dropbox or? where?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have,
And-
I didn't, that most recent doc,
I will,
or, I didn't post it.
Now it's up there, what?
You put it up.
yeah, we'll put up a visual, but I have like a little
Right.
summary
Okay.
for you.
Alright, we are good to go.
Good to go.
Ooh.
So far, my phone
Oh, we're not in the.
Cupcakes? Is it anybody's birthday?
The statement of district needs.
That's your house, yeah.
Could you bring that? You brought that.
We sent them out, for it. Poor guy.
I should have like played that clip, you know, like put it in.
Well,
Well, Jesse, it was your birthday like 3 weeks ago, right? Something like that? What? Happy birthday, it's your 3 weeks ago? Roberta has the floor. Please let us start the G line.
All the excuses.
In
not to
honor
start the
of
meeting.
Jesse's belated birthday, greetings and welcome to the budget task force. We tonight are here to gather to talk about the 2026 statement of district needs for Manhattan Community Board 4. Manhattan Community Board 4 has a hybrid policy that can be found on our website. Board members are expected to attend meetings in person unless they have a disability and or extraordinary circumstance. Excused members and members of the public will still be able to participate virtually, and members who are joining via Zoom must leave their cameras on. This meeting is being streamed live on our YouTube channel and a transcript is being recorded. Okay. So, thank you guys for coming this evening. I think the game plan for tackling the items here on the tonight will be the first take a look at the survey results. And then to go into the capital and expense sheets and look through the order of the first, let's say, 4 priorities from each committee and sort of see if we would like to change the order there. And then we can take any sort of miscellaneous movement of items from throughout the order. If there's anything you'd like to add to that method or anything else you'd like to do, you know, feel free to speak now, but that's what I hope we can accomplish this evening. Cool. Sweet. Okay. So without further ado, if you have a laptop or phone, you are welcome to look in the Dropbox and take a look at the statement of district needs survey responses. There were 249 responses from individuals who live, work, and or volunteer in the neighborhood, and we received a lot of input as well as open-ended feedback in the comments. So I welcome reading that. I do have a little bit of a summary of that if it becomes useful. But you can see here that far and away, for this past year, the number one issue that individuals expressed concern over was crime and public safety and police community relations. This was, you know, over 100 individuals, number one of 249 respondents. The second number one was affordable housing and land use, which is historically been one of ours. I do believe last year, crime and public safety and affordable housing and land use were our number one and number two. Leslie, can you correct me if we're wrong, but so it's not entirely unexpected. And then we have quality of life, social services, and trash removal and cleanliness. I would say just those 3 there do have some intertwining themes and budget asks with some of the others, but we can certainly note the top, you know, 3 here in our narrative and make sure that the narrative reflects those. I don't know if there are any comments or questions or concerns or ways you'd like to use this to ultimately shape our conversation this evening, but this is sort of what individuals responded with here. Seems like Leslie has a bit.
I think you're right, just looking at the last year's, our top three pressing issues overall, number one was affordable housing, number two, crime and public safety, number three, trash removal and cleanliness, so we were surprised, remember we said that we didn't think that might not be the third one, but it is, you said?
It is, for here, we separated out trash removal and cleanliness. Here it's quality of life issues, which it can be a little bit challenging to separate those two, and we might want to collapse them back for the purpose of the narrative, but I know that last year, I think it might have been the first time last year we had them separated out, and you know, we left them separated for the survey purposes.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, I think we collapsed them for the last year, we did it,
Yeah.
same thing for the narrative.
Yeah, and we can keep that, we can try and put those together as our number three. It is interesting because I think that being our number three, because sanitation has indicated that they did restore their cuts, and I know that this was something that was discussed at Parks. If that, you know, kind of needs to go back in the narrative, or if there's a different approach we'd want to take to the narrative.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we were funding in our committee for DSNY, they restored cuts for pickup, because remember there was overflowing corner bins. Those have been restored, but I think the overall trash on the street has not in certain areas, so maybe that's what people are highlighting.
Well, if you have empty stores, you have more trash, because the people in the stores are not cleaning in front. So if we have, I think there is a correlation with, for example, if you walk on 11th Avenue where people are not, you know.
But is there
It's
an ask
not
for that?
clean, no, because in fact it is done by the private buildings. So there is not an ask for that, except for enforcement.
Yes. So
And as for enforcement is like people of sanitation go and give tickets or send tickets to the property owner saying you need to clean in front of your.
And in my summary for PSNY, Roberta, for the core infrastructure and food services,
Yeah.
we did mention about street trash is different
Yeah.
than curbside
Yeah.
or basket trash. I said street trash is still
a huge problem.
prevalent, yeah, so however they want to take that. I know that's not an ask, it's more of the summary, but
Yeah.
just FYI.
In the comments, is there more color on? In the trash? Yeah.
There is, I mean, so where we ask people to brainstorm, feel free to also thumb through the comments, but I have a little summary. For sanitation and quality of life, comments include increased street cleaning and increased trash collection. Rat mitigation specifically, there was at least one comment on human waste specifically, the having some regular cleanup of sidewalks and public spaces, which I know is something the bids will sometimes do. And then enforcement of, you know, like commercial business. So those were at least some of the things that I picked up from the comments that are there, but if you wind up seeing anything that you think would add additional color in that Excel sheet, you know, I think we should absolutely write about it.
Well, I guess, sorry. I was just gonna, I don't know if it's actually for this process, but like in a column to the right, I would like to just flag this issue. It's in the comments and you're raising it about vacancies, and that leads to illegal dumping, but it also just means that people just drop things and that's not being cleaned. And I know at one point Coleman was talking about a plan around trying to incentivize or punish landlords for keeping places, storefronts vacant. It was certainly like more of a coming out of the pandemic issue. But I don't know, it'd be interesting to pick that back up. I know vacancies are overall down, but there are still some main corridors where they're not, and it'd just be interesting to think about that. Again, I don't know if it's for budget necessarily, but I wanted to just make a flag.
Maybe also something for ACEs, if there's an opportunity to pick up. And I don't know where specifically.
Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering, like, how we. I feel like there's a little bit of a lag between. Like, a focus on sanitation, well, we heard from sanitation that a lot of those things are getting fixed right now, right? And so how do we make this capital request responsive to the survey, but not ignoring what's already been done, right? And so, for example, like even we see that public safety is the number one thing, but we also know that actually, like, I mean, again, I guess we have to look at the color about it, but like, we know crimes are down, you know what I mean? Like, so, but so how do we? I mean,
Depends where,
It
that's the
depends
point.
where, it depends where, and also,
Yeah,
exactly, but I
depends
think
what kind of crime,
specifically,
yeah.
exactly, it's not, like, I don't think it's helpful to say. I don't know, I guess, yeah, I think we just really have to get at the details here, right? About what we're asking for, so that it's clear and it's not only being responsive to the survey and to our community concerns, but that it's also like real, right? Like if we just say like, we want there to be more police, I mean, that's not helpful, but like we have to see where crime is not down, right?
I mean, as it relates to I hear what you're saying, Katie. I feel like while specifically with the trash comment, I think we can say, while we recognize that, improvements or if cuts have been restored, improvements in trash collection have been made.
And composting is coming back and like all that, yeah.
We are still hearing that our constituents feel that there's an opportunity around, I mean, it's so hard because it's just like trash, it's like so general and it's
Yeah.
like from a comment standpoint, it's like it's really hard, so. Trash is still a concern in these areas, I don't know, in street collection or in front of, buildings or storefronts that are not occupied. I don't know, we can say those examples and just state them so that it's recognized, that the feedback from the community is being recognized.
Yeah, but I guess I'm just wondering, like, how do we ask for something that's actually constructive and helpful, you know what I mean?
Well, can I make a recommendation? I think of you guys, I think we've taken an assessment of this.
Yeah.
And I think now would be more helpful to go over what you guys have already, each of the committees have done. And then see how that
And then
fits in.
track it to
Yes,
the,
because
yeah,
you get, so,
yeah.
You know, because I think about what's, you guys, you put in a couple of sanitation. you
yeah,
know,
I put that in about the street trash and like.
Let's-
So each had their paragraphs to do, like, and then we kind of reflected what. I didn't reflect what the survey said, but reflected like kind of what the.
Well, I was talking about the budget requests, but I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying, but I think if we start going through the budget requests and seeing how that
Yes.
lines up or doesn't line up with the prioritization of this stuff, I think that would be helpful. Cause then instead of trying to manufacture.
Guess what people meant or something, yeah, yeah.
One quick flag in the comments, it does say that the precinct, 10th precinct has 50% lower staff than it did previously. I don't know if we have any evidence of that, or
I
that's just something to know.
certainly can ask, I mean, they're, as we know, they're trying very hard to,
Yeah, I think,
$80,000 signing on
Yeah.
this. Yeah, so.
I think Midtown North also has staff that's down, I know that for a fact. So, because they can't retain and they can't recruit.
So, in the spirit of transitioning to, to the actual requests from the committees, we can start with the capital. And then we can go to the expense. Just to recap, I think we'll just go up to committee's fourth preference. And then I would just, if there are any changes that should go below, like fall below that, feel free to flag them. But I think that we can just do those or start with those in the committee. If that makes sense. Does everyone have some form of copy?
I made copies.
Yeah, so there's some on the table if you don't have a laptop or iPad. Do you want a copy?
Is the board, I don't know, maybe I'm looking in the wrong place on the Dropbox.
Oh, you maybe
Was it
have.
last month, or is there something that's been loaded lately?
This month, October.
I don't know why, all right, I'm gonna see. Let me load it again.
But no, I have a computer, but where's that?
Oh, on the.
That should be count. No.
What do you want?
Yeah, we'll start with capital.
It's up.
Yeah. I thought, oh, you're here too. Okay. Sorry.
So my reaction to to the survey was. Communities telling us safety is an issue. And I think we should be responsive to it. And rather than doing one of each, just bring up all the safety asks. So that they are all at the beginning of what we asked, and then put all the affordable housing. The way, that anyway, when it goes to the agencies that you want, it's going to be taken agency by agency, but from an optic standpoint, I think it's helpful for everybody to say, look, we asked for all this safety expense or capital expense. And so that was my reaction.
Can I ask about the survey? I don't know how many responses we got.
249. And
That's lower than in the past, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a little,
Pretty dramatically,
yeah, it's a little, it's a little under, it's under 100 lower.
Has there been any change to the number of people who receive the email?
Not to my knowledge. We did it on, we put it in the link NYC, we blasted it out, we sent it out to the press.
So one of the things I'd like to add, which is not on the list, is say fund additional personnel to walk the blocks.
And
Sorry, we're doing capital though?
I guess we can, I will put a pin in that if that's okay
Yeah,
for
so that's
expense.
Okay, I'm sorry,
No,
I
that's,
keep going to. Master sheets.
So, sorry, Roberta, can you just clarify, the list in front of us is including new requests from committees?
yes.
Yeah.
This
It's
is the
all
latest from all of us.
It's all this.
Any new requests or new and existing?
It's each committee.
It's each committee's
It's
request.
each committee's set of requests
Got it,
done in the prioritized list.
got it.
So you'll see there's the priority number, the committee number, the agency, the request and the reason.
Okay, and so we can,
I'm sorry, I think just to bridge Christine's point, I think most of the public safety asks are going to be expensive.
Yeah, it is. I'm just trying to look
Yes.
at it. It does not,
and
Yeah.
and the same thing with affordable housing, you would expect them to be capital.
right, that's it. Then
So
on
they're
on
sort
the
of-
capital, we can
Yeah.
take all the affordable housing and put it on the top,
Yeah,
and say, okay, this is what we wanna do, right?
in that vein, if we would like to tackle the number ones for capital, I'm gonna roll down the list and it would take input as to if we'd like to elevate one in the priority list, but we have housing, health and human services, capital subsidy for Hartley House has previously been a top request. We have from CLU and HHHS to complete the interim repairs for Fulton and Elliott Chelsea. From ACES, we have funding the outstanding HVAC replacement for the Columbus Library branch. For WPE, we have shore power as the number one. And for TPC, we have elevators at 6th and 8th Avenue at the 23rd Street stations. And that is the sort of order that we have them in, and I, open the floor to see if there's any interest in changing the the order for
Yeah.
this number one.
Well, building off of what Christine said and kind of jumping, but I would think about doing the first of housing. And then, and NYCHA, I might actually flip it. Do NYCHA first and
Yeah.
then housing.
Yeah,
So the CLU request first, then HHHS. But then I would jump, and I know I'm going beyond what you just outlined, but would jump to HHHS's second request to be effectively our third,
which is one,
which is capital subsidy for the the multifamily preservation and senior affordable housing, which we've had on here for as long as I've been doing the budget. So. But then I think if if there's agreement with that, then I'm open to hearing what others think the two, 4, 5, and 6 should be.
What is the, Jesse, what is the, Hartley House? And has there been any movement on that?
Not really. I did check, I did check with Eric's office, they are working on it, it's certainly in their priority list, it's certainly in their pipeline, they're trying to gauge, we need to focus, I think there's a pipeline. Pipeline issue, I also think it is a unique project that doesn't just fit easily into a box. Like it's a new
Right.
building that has you compartmentalized supportive housing in market rate, similar to like the MTA site or the DEP site, which is just an open yard, and this is an existing building that's gonna make a unique some managers to process, so. But it is certainly a priority for them, and it is certainly in the pipeline.
Follow up on that, and once we have done those, I would bring up Harborview Terrace. There are repairs, and there are two type of repairs there, I don't know whether we should merge them. We have the elevator repairs and.
Yeah, so the reason why they're separated is because the way that
They
the
go-
request, elevators is a whole its own topic, and then anything else is like outside of that.
So I would move those two, to the top below what we discussed. Because we've been working on that for a long time too.
Yeah, so those are HHS's number 5 and number 6. Is there any
So
disagreement?
Yeah.
Just to be clear, your suggestion was building repair or NYCHA, number 2.
Multifamily.
Number 2 is actually, well, this one, the Hartley Hartley.
Multifamily.
Yeah, the only, I agree, I think that's fine, but I'm kind of curious about, so repairs for units. Is that actually capital?
With
I thought
big
it was-
repairs, yes,
I'm sorry?
big repairs, yes.
Yeah, it's an.
Yeah, so in the unit,
Yes.
repairs.
Oh,
It doesn't matter
inside
whether
the-
it's in the unit, it's a capital fix, it's not doing the staffing, it's not a program, it's a. You're paying for supplies, and you're making a repair to the plumbing and hardware, and that's over a 5-year lifespan, so it's a capital.
Okay.
I wouldn't do a contrast to that. I think we're getting traction on some things that I think we should highlight. I think if we just top heavy our housing, which we always do, it kind of. I mean, we've been doing that's the same for years, right? And I think we should even it out a little more with other, like, I think the, on WP, obviously with shore power, we're getting traction on that. It was 3 1 year, now it keeps dropping, and I think we should do the opposite. As we're getting traction on it, we should highlight it. And also, transportation had great response to the what is it, Christine, the elevators.
Yeah, there is, right.
That's like the disabled, I mean, this is the disabled community has been asking the ways for a
Yeah,
long time.
But I am,
And the elder, and the mothers with strollers, I mean, the whole thing, but.
okay, my view on that is that, within the agency, they're still
They're gonna be
number
number
one.
one, right?
So I'm talking more about the optics for the community.
Yeah.
This is, I don't think the fact that this thing would be number 8 or whatever is going to be detrimental to getting it funded. So
What is the Columbus Library status?
What's that?
Jesse, the Columbus, the HVAC for the Columbus Library, we had that as number 3. What is the status?
What?
What is the status?
That is the status, so the status is that they were able to get a grant, so it was a $6 million request last year. They were able to get a grant, and they basically split out what they could get a grant for, was the roof and the power pit, which was the initial issue, because it was the leaking roof, and then it goes down like the 3rd floor and everything. But they still need the 4 point whatever it is for the remainder of the project, which is mostly the HVAC system.
Do you think the agency knows about the funding that's available, the 1.5 million?
The agency being the library? Yeah, they're the one-
No, the agents, New York Public, I guess
Yes.
this is a request to New York Public.
Yes,
So yes.
yeah, they're one of the few agencies that actually tell us what they want. And they are saying to us, this is what we need you to advocate for, which is the 4.5, because they received the rest of it.
But in the framework of optics. I think we're maybe haven't yet reached consensus on if we should front load housing in the way we talked about briefly, front loading public safety on the expense requests, but I would think, given the momentum on elevators and shore power, that we should move that above the ACES request.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you have a proposed order for either of them, or it's just the order they're on the sheet? Shore power, then elevators is fine. I know it ultimately does not matter.
And then we're talking about still your initial proposal, Jessica, of having the crew, then the HPD, night shift, then HPD, then HPD again.
So
Right?
the top three,
Would be the top three.
top four.
And then the next one, number 4 would be the, what
Shore power?
Shore power. And then the elevators.
Elevators would be 5.
I think that's what you said, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Three.
I think there should still be a discussion of where elevators and the work at Harbor View goes. But I think we start there and see where we slot that in.
I was advocate for Harborview, and the reason why it's still on there is, and the reason why it's not getting funded for years is the same reason why interim repairs are not being funded right now at Elliott Chelsea. So if we want to use that rationale, I think we should.
Put
I
them
think we need
together.
to bundle it, because they're gonna say, well, no, we need we want a capital project in our Harborview that's gonna pay for it. And therefore, we're not gonna put any money into Harborview until we do 70% market rate, 30%.
Oh.
That's their argument. So I would just say, if you're gonna do that, if we're gonna feel that strongly about one development, I think we should just make sure we just put them all together.
Could we bundle that or?
For the repairs.
Or two different
No, you can't, they're
locations.
two different locations.
And if we were to do that, that would put the Harbor View at number 4 and number 5 on the list, or would you move NYCHA to like all of the NYCHAs together so that you would have Fulton, Elliott, Chelsea as number 1, and then Harbor View number 2 and number 3?
I don't know if it really matters, but I think
Yes.
this incentive, if you're gonna put niches, make a niche repair,
Mhm.
I would just put it all together, so. it's-
Yeah,
Just a question though, the.
Like 1, 2, 3.
checks is
Yeah.
why did they put Harbor View as 6, 5 and 6, as opposed to Highland, like putting that below the Sarah, for example, the affordable rentals. Do you have a sense?
If I'm recalling, I think we replicated last year's
I
and
think we did.
we basically went through and were like, would you like to change this? And there were a couple of instances in which people were like, that this rises above, specifically the Fulton, Elliott, Chelsea, and then a new issue request starting last year is the Ryan Chelsea Center capital items, both of which have sort of gone further up on the list.
So now we're saying we're gonna put all HHF housing stuff as 1 through 5.
No, I think we're just talking about moving the NH. Sorry,
all the
NYCHA.
Putting
So,
bunch
like-
of things together.
No, he said we can't put it, oh.
No, not,
Wait, next
not
to
as
each
one.
other.
Next
One
to
to
each
three.
other.
adjacent to each other.
Adjacent.
One, that's what I'm saying.
But
one,
one
two,
would
three,
result
right.
in what Leslie's saying.
No,
which is
yes,
that the
yeah.
first 5
It'll be further divided as housing.
Yeah.
That.
Well, if you look at the statement of district needs of every other community board in Manhattan, you will see that affordable housing is number 1.
Right, but that's not us, I mean, I'm glad that they have, it, but.
So in my mind, what I'm saying is that it's a priority to us is not something that's unusual. And I think that I do think optics is important, but I also understand what you're saying. And even if we don't put it together, when we put something, the agency is gonna see it in the way that we put it.
Exactly.
So yes,
Right.
yes
Yeah.
to what you're saying, but I also think what Christine is saying about optics is important.
Yeah, but
What
what
if
are the-
maybe
what are
a
the
compromise, just put out a strong man compromise of NYCHA requests as 1, 2, and 3. And then shore power elevators as I guess 3, 4. And then
You mean
sorry,
four,
I didn't mean
four,
4 or 5, sorry, 4 or 5, and then pick back up the remaining open housing items, so partly, ML, this MPLP, Sarah program, et cetera.
That's good.
When I chair Chelsea and Clinton, the three developments in Chelsea is special in terms of.
And that would be number 1.
The repairs are not really, at this point in time, the responsibility is for the private developer to do the repairs, not mentioned.
Well, that, as
And that-
we know, that is our request, but fundamentally, we are asking NYCHA to give approval. We can't ask the private developer as part of the city budget process.
Okay, I just
So-
want to make sure.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a very good point.
But the
So I think
request
this
is
is-
to NYCHA.
Partly why this wasn't on here last year was there was the understanding that it was ultimately gonna be the responsibility of the private developer. I think both Housing, Health and Human Services and CLU kind of came to the conclusion, both from hearing resident testimony and also from having a bit of vaguity, like as to like the responsibility that the goal is getting them done. And if that ultimately requires, that like some public subsidy, that would be worth it for the residents. I think that was sort of the discussion that came out of those specific committees. If anyone here would like to add to that, but
No, I think that's very right, and I think we were talking about the fact that like, if there's one group that we hear from every month at full board. About, from our community, about what needs to. It's the residents of NYCHA.
100%.
Chelsea, what I used to.
Yeah.
I think
So,
the three night show on
just
the
feels
top
like,
makes sense, I mean,
you
they're
know,
compromised.
we've heard more of that than we've heard survey results, do you know what I mean? Like,
Anything.
these are people who are asking for our help.
Yeah, well, that's I also think that's because they're going through a process right now, right? The process is live for them, right? It's a live actually contract, so.
But, yeah, so anyway, so if we can put them first or something, that'd be great.
yeah, so Fulton Elliott Chelsea is number 1, and then the 2 Harvard News in the order in which Housing, Health and Human Services listed them. For number 4, yeah, those will be 2 and 3. For number 4, we will have shore power, and for number 5, we will have the 6th and 8th Avenue elevators. And both of these will be obviously the first request that goes to those agencies. And that is okay with everyone here.
Jesse, just curious, do we have any other requests to EDC? Is that the only EDC?
I believe that's the only one.
Bella Abzug,
Oh, yeah, Bella, like, we continue to.
yeah.
Okay,
But that continued support is done,
Yes,
you know, it's,
I don't want us to lose.
it's
time.
vague.
And the shuffle.
Okay.
So if we're, can we make number 4, number 6,
What, which one?
the library?
Columbus,
Oh, library, right.
Yeah, can we make number 6, and then you can go back to housing,
And then, okay, so then 7 becomes,
Hartley House.
But what about the one which has been there forever?
but housing put Hartley first, so this, are we good?
Don't you know one?
Fair.
yes.
I think it's,
So, okay, we should discuss, do we wanna have Hartley next? This was, we're talking about item number 7 and 8, we're deciding between Hartley and the, adequate capital subsidy for MPLP and.
Wait, I'm sorry, where did the library end?
The library is number
6.
Number 6.
Okay.
Okay, if I'm the only one fighting for it, I'm fine with that.
No.
There's no one, is anyone on these, I mean, it's good that.
No, we got plenty of
People
people.
who are
I'm
on
just
the
saying, like,
committee.
Yeah.
if the flows
what I think-
keep with housing, then I
Oh.
think that's fine, but then I think we go into. I think that, to me, like the library and then, Ryan Center stuff is communal, it's community-based stuff that really helps a
Exactly.
wide spread of folks. Hartley House will help people, but it will also be limited in its scope
Right.
in some ways. I mean,
I
it's a
agree.
settlement house in some ways too, but
Right.
I just think
So
so.
are you
If we want to
suggesting
bundle all
yes?
of those after the housing, and that's fine. With me, as long as
Well,
we-
library- that's good.
as long as it
library's
doesn't get-
currently before.
I know, but I'm saying I'm willing to like.
And then so you
This is
want
an issue,
to.
I'm willing.
No, but you
No,
want to take this one and Ryan Chelsea and then put the
Exactly,
two,
that's my question.
right, the
Oh, then
two,
housing.
right? That,
But I
because that
think
was,
if
you
you're-
made a case for that.
Yeah, well, that's my case, but
I mean,
I also,
housing did have, Ryan
So you
Kelsey
can do
as
that
number
too,
3.
After that.
right,
And technically, Hartley House as
Okay,
number 1.
Ryan Halton's be number one.
Me and the admin.
Let's do
Lauren and Ryan.
okay.
So new 7 is Ryan. And then 8 becomes Hartley and 9 becomes Sarah.
Great.
That was
9.
I got
So why this Sarah has not been funded in years?
She's moving too fast.
I mean, do we need to find out why it's still there, not funded, what's the problem?
That's, yeah.
I think I was talking to Jesse, and one idea that I thought that he brought up that was, I think, very interesting is that we do not always have, the agencies come and report specifically on our items that we talk about. And so it might be a request to the chairs of Housing, Health and Human Services to invite HPD in particular to talk about their capital program.
Yeah, and I would ask, by the way, the slaughterhouse, you see continuing support?
Yes.
This is like, it's on, this is on a feed, right? This is the thing is on a feed.
It's the chair issue that she will not forget.
I mean, the thing is not happening, what's going, oh, you were talking about EDC, that's EDC.
No.
Slaughterhouse?
Oh, they may have owned the site, but I think the actual subsidy is coming from HPD.
Okay,
I have a question.
okay, anyway, please ask them.
But I'm sorry, I'm losing my eyesight.
Ryan Center is HHS is number 3, and it will be our.
It'll be our
Number 8, or
It'll be our 7.
Sorry. There's,
I have a Ryan Chelsea question. The ask is for an ultrasound machine, right?
Yeah.
And the other ask is for a chiller. Really? That can't be fun? I mean, an ultrasound machine, I mean, we can do a telethon tomorrow and fund that. I don't understand. Is that like a big ticket item that's so, well, I mean, it's not.
Basically want to move into women's health more.
I know, but the actual ask for ultrasound machine, it's one ultrasound machine.
Yeah.
I mean.
I agree. I think it's crazy.
It's crazy.
yes.
So they can't, yeah.
It may be that there is not a specific funding source for that item, which is kind of what the agency's response was. But we would like to support that. I suspect that like keeping it here is important
Yeah,
to
no.
raise it for council member, assembly member.
No, and I'm just saying in the future for our board to actually target that, because I think it's a doable, I mean, this year we can actually get
You
that.
would think even with discretionary funds.
Yeah.
Can we put it in the library with the HVAC? I put the HVAC.
Yeah, right.
Library, a little more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't even think. it
Oh,
was that-
65,000, they said.
It's crazy.
I mean, no. I remember purchase one, but that's
But we
what they
could,
said.
I mean, HHNS, you could organize and make a
Yeah.
gala with them to raise the money.
Let's
So-
just see.
we need to keep on rolling.
Move that to
All right, we're at Ryan Center's 7, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then.
Hartley is 8
Partly is.
Hartley is 8.
and 9 is Sarah.
Okay.
So now we're back at ACES number 2, just
Yeah,
the lab middle school section.
Right, so to roll through some of our number 2s, we have Lab Middle School. We have Do at Clinton Park, we have 9th Avenue reconstruction, 51st to 34th.
Yeah, forget about that. This is expense for the community. But leave it in, but it's going to be expense and then it will be capital.
You're talking about your request, the CPC request?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
Does that just mean you can deprioritize it, or
Yeah,
that we
well,
should
that's
get rid
why
of it
it's not very
entirely?
high, right?
Okay, very good. Well, it's technically
so
your
you're
number 2.
it's your number 2.
Because we don't have a lot of.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right, of course.
We don't have a
Yeah.
lot of capital.
So it's being eliminated? or-
No,
No,
it's
no.
just,
Eliminated, just drop down.
I'm just gonna say, put it low,
You
Right,
can
so-
drop it lower.
yeah.
oh, and we did hear about the PA system, like they really need it. in some way, they were saying. And it's-
Well, you can leave it the way it is after
Yeah,
that,
just leave
no?
it, yeah.
Everything after that is kind of fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think so, just looking at number threes and number fours. Just reading through these.
So yeah, we're taking out, you take out Triple H's number 4, right?
Yeah, because it's
Redundancy.
redundant.
Yeah, it's redundant, right?
We can keep the other requests.
It's so interesting, so the WPE request about the public bathrooms. Isn't there a whole public bathroom initiative happening right now?
Yeah, but it's on the streets, not in the park.
And it's like literally like, they're back to a point where like, we're all agreeing, at least there's a report that needs to be done about a study. Or study needs to be done for the report to then come out to think about where we could place them, so
I love them in the park.
we're far down the pipeline from actually putting a bathroom anywhere. You know,
Really?
yeah,
Terrible.
they're just voting on that there needs to be a yearly report.
Wow.
That will tell us where they think the bathrooms could go.
I mean, not for nothing, I feel like then maybe that one has to go a little higher.
I would agree. It's been on there for a long time, and it also is connected to the staffing issue, right?
Yes.
So I would make.
And also there's
Unless there's something else
we
would
we need
be
a specific,
WP that you think needs.
Well, WPE put renovating on Caffrey above. Are
yes.
we prepared
So-
to shift that?
Listen, McCaffrey, it's gonna be a pet project of the council members, so that's gonna blow away whatever our priority list is, unfortunately.
But maybe we just put it above McCaffrey because it's our priority and then you're right, and then he's gonna fund it anyway, you're saying, he's gonna fund
I think,
Or
it's
just-
I think it's on the hot, the front burner
Yeah.
for
I'm
hot.
not too excited about the bathroom.
No,
Well,
why?
Yeah.
You don't wanna, you have no place to
Because
go?
we have no place to go. We have no, oh, no, I mean, there is no place to put that.
No, there is. So, in fact, we made a specific, Penn South Playground is getting a whole renovation.
Oh, there, okay.
Right, so we specifically asked, and we actually asked them to redesign to make space for a small
Right,
toilet, you know, or a bathroom
Right, yeah,
area. Oh, it's expensive. Listen, this is your opportunity. You're redoing the whole thing. There's
Yeah.
plumbing there, like.
no, I'm okay in those playgrounds and in the parks when.
Oh, it's there, I'm
the
sorry.
project, yeah, when the project, exactly, that's.
No,
fine.
it says in each, it doesn't say on your sidewalk.
No, this fine, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
fine,
It says this
that we
specific.
should move up, I agree.
So
Yeah.
we'd like to put that as our number 10,
yes.
In front of Catholic.
9 is ACES.
and
They're
we're,
not in front of all the other twos, that what we want to confirm.
I would put it in front of our DeWitt Clinton.
You would not.
Only because I think we're like halfway funded there, and then I'll talk to you, Helen Rosenfeld, people just, they might put in some money this year.
Sierra wants to.
No,
No.
Oh, so then that would.
Great.
so we might be edging to, I wanna keep, DeWitt Clinton has.
Okay, so then-
No,
Yeah.
nine is Lab Middle School, 10 is DeWitt Clinton,
And then
11
is
is
the
public bathrooms.
Yeah.
Oh, I had.
And that's a
nine-
Mark
I
Levine
had
thing
nine-
too, he'll like,
Oh, I must have missed some.
no, I think 9 is,
I had
the,
nine for Sarah,
the Sarah, yeah.
and
Oh,
so
then-
10,
And his lab.
Yeah.
11 is DeWitt and 12 is the public bathroom.
11. I must have missed
I'm sorry.
this one.
And his lab, what's 11?
Want to do it, right?
11 was
Yes.
DeWitt, yeah, and 10 was lab.
Yeah, okay. And then we have Herb.
Wait, so
What's nine for
lab is not 10 anymore?
Lab is 10.
Lab is 10, do it is
Is
11. And that would put
bathrooms.
bathrooms at 12.
Can you
Well,
clarify
then
what
we're,
nine
but
was?
we're, you got, hold on, but don't you have, you got urban assembly in between and you got McCaffrey playground, so you're gonna put the bathrooms above all of that, which is fine, I just wanna make sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
13 will be
Yes.
Can we put the cracked cement on 8th Avenue, just above or below the bathrooms? Where is it now?
Bathrooms is 12, I'm like,
No, but the crack cement thing,
You mean where it says roadway maintenance?
No, I see
repair,
it.
replace damage and dangerous subway grade.
Yeah, that's your third.
That's my third, but I just want to make sure it's somewhere.
The only thing I think
Okay.
that's jumping that are the bathrooms. Right? That was
no,
our
no,
third.
No,
bathrooms is jumping,
McCaffrey would.
no, jumping, jump,
No,
bathrooms
McCaffrey
is
was jumping
jumping.
that.
Urban Assembly, Gateway School, and McCaffrey.
So where are my crack
And
cement?
now it's jumping the damaged thing, so you wanted to, if we wanted to do right after that, right after public bathrooms, which is number 12. You do the repair and replace damaged dangerous subway
Yes.
grades,
Yeah.
number 13. Then go back. Urban Assembly School is number 14,
Okay.
and then renovate McCaffrey is 15.
I think that's good.
And then let's just close that out with. Number. Number 16 is professional performing arts, high school, ADA, I think that makes sense, right? And then. We're into like 4s now, which is
Yeah.
resurfacing 8th Avenue bike lane. And then auditorium renovations, better bin program.
Oh, yeah, the better
I
bin,
need your language.
so should we, like, the better bin program, like, considering our survey, might have to be moved up a bit.
I would say whether
Just, there are some corners that have no bins, no trash bins, and ones that have bins but aren't better bins.
And do we have a match on that for the expense budget as well?
No, those are, that's the actual, it's the actual,
I know, but
bin.
then we need to like pick it up and service that.
No, those are better bins are the,
No, there is
kind
an
of bin.
upgrade.
Just an upgrade of the bin, yeah.
It's replacing.
Right.
Correct, correct. I mean, there are some, like, I know there are some blocks that don't have bins that at all, but they should, they just been struggling, but. They're already on the, like, you're right, they're on
The route.
yes.
And just a flag, there are 2 better bins requests. One is a continued support for the pilot. And then another is to fund the program.
I think,
The pilot.
The pilot's done, it's already,
Yes,
yeah.
They-
Remove that continuous.
yeah,
yeah.
so can we put the DSNY? Can we move that, the better bins up, or do you not think? the better
Excuse me, I
bins-
have a question before we go there, number 8. What is number 8?
Number,
8 was-
8 is Hartley.
yes.
We moved it up or yes?
And we can confirm the order of these before we.
Yeah, we're gonna go through it at the end, because we have to, I'm saying.
Okay,
So I have a
So
question.
do
You
you wanna
guys
switch out?
did a mapping of what's missing for better bins?
not what's missing, so the council member's office are going to give me a map of where they think they're identifying spots for the better bins. Number 1, that's the replacement, and then there's also some that are missing.
That's what I'm saying.
The missing ones we haven't mapped, but we know where the problem locations are,
Okay.
so it's 2 different mappings, if that makes sense. One where they identify they need it, and another where they just need something and it should be a better bin.
So do you wanna switch out McCaffrey with better bids?
No,
No.
Okay, so what is your what is your?
let's move it up.
But
You need to make a proposal.
I mean, we don't have to, but I'm just saying, considering the survey and the.
I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but we have to, where are we actually putting it, does that make sense?
What is after McCaffrey?
McCaffrey is then the professional arts high school ADA access.
And then what's after that?
That's where we are right now.
That's
We
where
would be better,
just-
can make better bids next.
I
Right,
would be,
okay. That sounds.
Isn't that what it is already?
I'm channeling like Josephine, and I feel like she would be a fierce advocate for ensuring support for our schools is not lost. And I don't know where that means it should go, but I can hear her saying like, how is education not in our top 5? And I think I think there's an answer for that because we're prioritizing housing, but I wanna put that out there.
I don't think, are we dropping any ACES things except for the front, only the front load housing? It gets dropped, but we're not moving any of the others. Are they? Bless you.
Well, in our top 10, we have library and lab. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Okay, as long as we're,
Suggested.
Yeah, I think, again, I think the library is pretty wide, you know. Wide
Service.
Yeah.
okay, so after,
Okay, so your proposal is, Leslie, just to confirm what you're saying, better
in the
bids,
first time.
moving to
That is done.
the number 16.
16, I guess, I don't have the,
Okay.
I don't have the new list.
It will be the first DSNY,
I was gonna say, yeah, it'll still be.
so
Yeah.
I think that,
I think it's our only DSNY capital, to be honest with you. Do we have something else?
So let's hope we got the other garbage collection and recycling.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, there's there's
another one.
curbside recycling. And then the one that we're gonna remove, the Better Bins continued support, and then. Oh, we also have,
Oh, Chris, yeah.
Clue has, continued support for the roof. At, West 17th Street, the building owned by DSNY. But that's a continued support, it's all the way at the bottom.
But so it's not, right, it's
So
not a
is
issue.
is after the bins. Is after the bins, the DOE request, ACE's fourth request? The professional performing arts, is that where we pick up?
We pick up with, I believe, the roadway maintenance, because that's the next blank one,
What maintenance, I'm sorry?
the.
Oh.
The resurface, so,
Exactly.
yeah.
No, that got moved up. To
No.
13.
We're reserving it Avenue.
But no, it's the one,
You can move this one down because it's an expense. But I'm always putting them on both sides.
Is that what we're doing?
Alright, so then in the guys. In the guys.
I'm not sure what is it
of
doing.
ACES stuff, then let's put then the next thing you have is that provide the funding for the auditorium renovations for Manhattan Bridges High School.
Okay.
Wait, but sorry, TPC's second request, reconstruct 9th Avenue from 51st to 34th, did we?
That's the one that, both of
That's-
those can be
yeah.
dropped.
She's saying we just.
I'm gonna fight for it in
But I'll
expense.
make you pay for that.
Yeah.
All the stuff.
Okay, so that's, so number 5 for ACES, which is the Manhattan Bridges High School number 17, after the benefit program,
Number 5 for ACES. Number 17.
number 17, okay?
And then
Then we can move on to, so just to be clear, so those two that you just said can be dropped, can they go all the way down?
All the way down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Ah,
Look at this.
Well, I think she has them in expense, right? You're gonna, is that where?
Yeah, I think one of them is not in expense, I have to, yeah, go back and.
Alright, so relocate 40 congestion pricing gantries from local street support authority properties.
Oh, this one is, yeah,
Okay,
it's
so that's-
capital, it has to stay,
Okay, so that's.
it may
so
have to
that's-
stay higher.
Okay, but right now, let's just call it.
What
we're
number
in the
is that now?
fives.
What number is
It
that?
would be 18.
Okay.
Well, that's higher than it was last year, right?
in the top 20, which
Okay.
one is 18?
it will be.
Gantries.
The gantry is right in front of Joe's door
Okay,
and Tishman door.
we're, right, can I just go, well, just run through what we have left, is that all right?
Yeah.
And you guys can tell me how crazy this sounds. Alright, so after the gantries, right, you've got, another school request. Then we've got the pilot program for solar lighting at,
Yeah.
in South,
Which we might get to.
okay. In anticipation of full transfer of electric vehicles, private
Oh,
commercial
this-
public, the need for separate multi-vehicle
Yes,
charging areas.
This meant to go up.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
I'd love for it to go up, yeah.
So
This has to zoom.
that's right now, that's gonna be, 19.
I think that has to move on.
I do think that might, yeah, that would be our first DOT capital request, regardless if we move it, but because Christine agreed to drop the others.
I thought 8th Avenue was number 13.
Yeah, the grades.
Sorry, thank you.
No, it's MTA. The
No,
grades is MTA.
No, but she's saying
Oh,
DOT
oh,
request.
Yeah, she
But
was
you're
saying.
right, so you're right, you're right.
Oh,
Yes,
Sorry, my
right,
mistake.
it's on there, but it's not DOT,
Right,
yeah.
my mistake. We should get out.
I think that has to, as you know.
No.
What do you, Christine?
Do you have
right?
a
I mean, that's
proposal as to how you would change any of the others, or are you comfortable? So I guess that one of the arguments is that this is the first thing that we are putting forward to DOT.
I know, but you could say, but that could be the argument of any, you know.
It was also
any of
your
our-
TPC 6,
Yeah.
so.
Well, can I ask something, because maybe I
Right,
missed
that was
it.
a joint.
In the- when we
TPC,
were
that was
looking
a
at,
joke.
Yeah.
when we
Yeah.
were looking at the number ones, there was a TPC that says install elevators at Sixth Avenue and Eighth Avenue.
Yeah,
Where did that end up?
we
No,
did,
that's
That
still,
is
that's still the
five.
one.
that was
Five.
5 or
That's top,
6.
that's 5 or
It's
6.
5,
Yeah,
or I have it as
5
5.
or 6.
We kept that up there. You
Yeah,
know,
but the question is, where do you put in front of what? You put in front of the school, in front of, let's take big chunks, right? Is it in front, this should be in front of the school, in front of, you know, Ryan Clinic,
in front of park renovation,
in front of park renovation?
I
Okay,
would say 1 or 2, yeah.
alright.
I mean, this is we're talking the future here.
I think the easiest way to do this is if there's something that's already there that you're from one of your own choices or committees that you're willing to switch out.
No, I'm not gonna be switched out. No,
And then we're talking about.
because we're talking in total, we're looking at this in a.
Well, where do you
No, but I'm saying the easiest way to
I
say,
know, I just thought-
you want it moved up. But where, so then
Where
where
do
do you
you
want
want-
it moved up? to?
Right,
Right,
I'm trying to say
well, I
the
don't
easiest.
have the new, I don't have the new list on me, so.
Well, we just
Right, but
went
you know
through,
what
it.
the-
It's night shift for the first three, shore power elevator library, Ryan, Hartley, Sarah, lab, do it, bathrooms, MTA Eighth Avenue. Before bathrooms?
You wanna switch it out with bathrooms?
Stop switching out. Yeah.
I think that's not a bad place, because this has more far, I mean, we're talking about a couple of bathrooms. Like this, which, you know, we gotta go, but this is the future and.
Yeah, but
and
then.
this
I mean, they're
is-
both environmentally,
So
you wanna
wait,
switch it out with the
I-
show power?
I removed, I
No.
removed the Eighth Avenue, so
No.
why don't you give her the spot at the Eighth Avenue?
Eighth
Yeah.
Avenue, we already dropped.
That's right, but I just did. I'm still holding that virtual.
No.
Oh,
That's why you haven't dropped it all the way down. You
No,
already
yes.
relinquished it.
No.
We already relinquished it. There's no
I'm
virtual
not-
spot.
not interested. Let's be practical here, folks. Let's go lab, do it, bathroom. Electric charging. Urban pathways, McCaffrey.
Wait,
Yeah.
now we're
Urban
the first DOE
pathways, what's
thing
urban pathways?
below.
What's urban pathways?
Sorry.
Urban assembly,
From assembly.
yeah,
What?
urban assembly,
Urban
excuse me.
assembly.
Urban
Oh,
assembly, excuse me, sorry.
I'm just
Well,
wondering,
what was your
what,
question?
what does that make the first pieces or the first DOE request?
It's still library at 6.
Okay, and then but the first school related request would
It's
now.
still,
Still ahead of it,
Okay,
And
So I'm sorry.
we're not dropping it.
so I was
Where is it?
proposing after bathrooms to do,
Yeah,
to do electric charging. And then
So-
we.
and what number do you have bathrooms
I
at?
have
Bathrooms
bathrooms at 12.
Yeah,
Okay.
bathrooms is at 12.
So electric
So it would be
charging would be
13.
13. Electric. 14 would be urban, the school.
No,
Urban.
14 would be the repairs to damaged subway grades.
But I thought Christine was offering to.
no,
No,
yes,
the other one.
Very
Okay.
good. I think this one
not
should be
offering.
just before. the
No, she was,
So I misunderstood, so DOT rates followed by, I misunderstood that, so
No, no,
let me
rates
restate.
followed by.
Rate
charging.
followed by charging.
Right,
Okay,
Wait, that's not, okay.
that make
that's okay.
14, not 13.
Right,
Right,
so
right, now we
bathroom is
have,
12,
we have charging and then,
No, the river,
no, just.
but now we're flipping.
We're gonna flip.
we just flipped it.
alright, so it's bathrooms,
Right.
then it's grades.
Great,
Right.
yes,
And then it's
Charging,
charging.
Right,
and then it's,
what's left?
and then it's urban assembly. And then I have McCaffrey. And then I had, and I think this is where I'm confused, so somebody else should pick up here, then I had DSNY.
At
16,
I
have.
Yeah, I also have professional performing arts at 16.
At 16, that's what I have.
Professional performance arts becomes 17,
Okay. Oh, cause we're moving them all down.
we're all moving it down.
17.
Yeah. And then auditorium becomes 18. Relocate to 40 congestions, oh wait, what about?
The gantries
We-
would be
That's
nice.
not the better
No, no,
bins.
the better
The
bins.
better bins was
But what do you
before
have
that.
as 17?
Jessica's right, Jessica had.
I don't have a 17 now.
Okay, so
No,
the,
you're right, okay, so that's,
So I think.
so better bins is 17.
and that was,
The auditorium was 17, but so the better bins is 17.
No, sorry, I had, let's just take a step back, I had 15 as McCaffrey. Do you have that? And then I have
Yes.
16 as Better Bins,
Okay, that's fine.
And what's up there?
and then
And then
17 I missed.
seven
I
is
think you were
Manhattan
saying-
Bridges.
That's at school, yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be, so 17 is Manhattan Bridges.
So I hate to do that, but
Hold on, this 18 is the 40. Gantries. Okay. And we're back.
Manhattan Bridges is,
17.
So transportation does get top 20.
and then 18 is.
Gantries.
gantry,
Gantries.
and better bins is 16.
All right, so can we keep on going?
What's your question?
19.
well, there were two schools who had security issues, right? I was just trying to say in the scheme of security being in, whether we should move those schools ahead of others. Not ahead of everything else, but just ahead of others. One was security door alarm. And then the other one was security cameras for PS 212 and PS 11, etc. So, or just, right, that
The
would be.
cameras have, in general, the cameras have been funded. They're in the pipeline, so
Oh, it's a continuing, sorry,
there you go. Yeah.
forget it.
All right, so
Reading the wrong sentence.
going forward. Right, last we had is 18, is that what people have?
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, so 19 could be business of sports. These all, this is tentative. That's 19. 20 is the solar powered pilot program for Penn South. Next is the expanding funding for Ryan Chelsea Clinton Health Center for space to provide a needed mental health services. That's 21. Again, tentatively.
Shouldn't be that higher,
What is it? I'm
No,
sorry.
why is that so low?
that should be higher.
So Ryan does not actually, or the way they've expressed it to us is they need space, they do not need, they have funding that they can use to lease a space, but they have not been able to identify a space. So
It's
if
not necessarily budget.
So if the city could, for example, provide, in kind, like. Public space,
Like
that
there's
was,
some empty space, Ryan Chelsea, you
Or
can-
if they have
Can-
money, or if they just buy an ultrasound.
Can we just, because I think they're right.
Sure.
I think the
Right.
reaction is
Yeah.
right. I think the rewording needs to be.
Yes.
City provide low cost or,
Okay, so how much
Yeah.
space they need? Because as we are talking to the Port Authority, that would be a good one.
so I don't know if we have.
I don't think
that
that's
number.
square footage.
We need to know,
But we can ask.
yeah, we need,
I'm sure Maria knows somebody who could get this.
So we can, Maria, could you help us figure
that
out?
would be so that, we need to shape that.
Okay, so for now, we're okay with,
in my notes, think that was 35, okay? For space.
Okay.
35,000?
35,000.
Square.
Oh, oh, oh,
Oh,
oh. That's a lot of
okay.
space.
Yeah,
That's a very big space.
I mean, I
That's
think
all right.
that-
Like space. Not gonna lie.
I mean, that's a.
There's a swimming
I think
pool
that's
too.
probably why they are having
Does that come with
difficulty
the children?
identifying.
Also, Ryan has that big, by the way, hole in the ground behind them that they could develop, hopefully, but anyway, hopefully.
So, all right, but let's say we're gonna keep it at 21 for the sake of argument. 22. I'm just going down the line here, is PS 111. This has been a long time request, it's a big project.
Which one is
This
it?
is the ADA, making the gymnasium, and the auditorium ADA accessible for PS 111.
It's been forever.
So that's 22, 23, sidewalk at Gutenberg Playground.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can draw, I mean, that's,
24, work at MTA site. I'm sorry, ATM design West 41st Street, Denton Avenue Station. Also been on there for a while, big money, big money,
Billions.
billions. 25, upgrade replacement on windows needed in schools. 26. Chelsea Dog Run.
by the way, can we just flip that with the Gutenberg, the two WPs, just so that makes it be 25, that's gonna be a hot topic, I think, coming up next year. Just, I think it's
Isn't it the dog
Oh,
rentals
okay,
that
yeah, I
are?
see what you're saying, sorry.
the Gutenberg sidewalks.
So that's 20, Gutenberg sidewalk is 25.
Parts of
And
the
dog
road.
run is 23.
Yes.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry.
Are we saying a dog run
Yes.
is more significant than a playground for children?
No, it's a sidewalk outside the playground has a few cracks and they said it's fine.
Oh, okay. And read the whole thing. Thank you.
So you're saying that this is gonna be.
Actually, the question, it depends which one person, who we talk to. We've heard from them all.
Okay,
So this is gonna be 25.
26 is back to PS 11. No, yeah, but not the back,
As
to
a
PS
version.
11, to PS 11. Six. 27. The curbside recycling bins.
Sorry, I think you have 26 as Gutenberg now. 25 being,
Wait, what happened to the windows? I thought that was 26 now.
that would be, so, and correct me if I'm wrong, I have 22 being 111.
Oh.
23 being Chelsea Park Dog Run for Leslie's suggestion, 24 being West 41st. 25 being Bayard Rustin, 26 being Wittenberg Playground, and then that would make the PS 11 27. But if that isn't correct.
Yes, PS 11 number 27, yes. 28 is then the funding for infrastructure and placement of curbside recycling bins. 29. Rooftop garden. Partially funded, that's why it's low. On there. 30. Fund the renovation construction of Gertrude Kelly Playground. And then we're in the continued support.
Great. Okay, can we just go backwards though from 30 to 25, please?
Okay.
30 to 25,
That's it, yeah, I was just, I got.
tell me if I'm wrong, Roberta.
Mhm.
I've got, number 25 is the, Gutenberg funding of the sidewalk outside from Gutenberg Playground, right?
25.
I have it as Bayard Rustin at 25, Gutenberg at 26. Am I, does anyone?
Yes, you each were saying that, so you two have been in disagreement about 25 to 26.
I could feel it in the room. Really ask what, I was gonna say. Okay, so 25 is the windows.
Yep.
The Bay of Rustin. 26 is the sidewalk.
Yep.
27 is PS 11. 28 is the curbside recycling bins. 29 is the rooftop garden. And 30 is the Gertrude Kelly Playground.
That's
Yes.
what, all of those I have.
That's another thing, PS 11 is.
The bottom, let's make sure we have the first 10.
Yeah,
That's hard to agree, literally, PS 11 needs a sign, it says it's $15,000.
That's what the principal asked for this year.
Yeah.
No,
That's
no,
what-
no, 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 I'm saying, how can they not get, I mean, it just seems
I
like, it's
know,
like the
but we-
catering bill for like, the city council for a week.
we can have a like grievance session later for meeting to.
Again, I'm not trying to say that they,
I
Yeah.
know, I'm just
they're
saying.
not like, they're not like,
something seems-
I emailed them, I said, this is what you asked for last year, and they wrote back, we want money for the sign. Like,
No,
okay,
I'm
like,
not,
if that's what he chooses to
I'm
prioritize.
not questioning I'm not questioning the aspects, that it seems like it's an easy.
I agree with you, I would
Money
think
thing.
the principal would say, hey, I have,
I
like,
wanna, yeah.
like TS 111, I would say, he doesn't ask for. Kind of the things that he's just gonna figure out and deal with, he asked for this, the big thing, which is this ADA project, which is gonna
Right.
take a
Right,
huge amount of
exactly,
money and
yes.
effort and political capital.
He's my.
Every principal is different in their way of their philosophy of
Yeah,
asking this.
I love that.
Yes. What happened to, and it might be the file that I'm looking at, but restore all cuts to DSNY capital budgets to allow for upgrades, this was number 20. In
So-
particular, light equipment.
From last year, you're talking about?
was
Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah,
That,
Yes.
the stores
Yeah,
have
you're
been
looking at-
there,
Yes.
essentially.
Yes,
Should have been last year, you should have gotten a different.
and at least,
There's a different folder that says.
And reverting to that.
yeah, we talked, we were gonna take it off.
Alright, so.
Yeah, that's.
No, we're good.
That's-
Oh, you wanted to go?
You wanted to go through one for?
Well, I mean,
No,
not me, no,
Just roll them up.
Great.
You got it?
NYCHA 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's read the
Shore
first one,
power,
right?
shore powers 4. Elevator 5. Library 6. I had shore power as 5.
No, I think shore power was 4, and then these elevators are 5,
5.
yeah. What do you have as 6 again,
The
Jessica?
library. The
Yeah.
HVAC replacement at Columbus on page 1.
6.
Yeah.
And then Ryan's is 7. Hartley is 8.
7. And then 8.
Is
Yeah,
Hartley?
and then Hartley is 8, yeah, which you.
And then
Yep.
Sarah is 9.
Oh, we have the.
And 10 is lab.
Yeah, this
Yep.
is 7.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But that's-
Yep, perfect, that's what we got. Go team.
You wanna vote on this one, or do we wanna try to tackle it?
Let's vote.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get it in.
For someone who, you know,
Each other on the next one.
hey, mine is because we all have to get to leave it.
And the other night, that was the first.
Is there a
I'll make a
vote?
motion. I'll make a-
Yeah, second.
Alright.
Alright,
So all those in favor of adopting the capital budget request as proposed,
Yeah.
1 through 30, yeah.
all opposed? Any other?
Yeah, I don't want to do the sign.
You're right. You know what's sad, it's like, there is some optimism, like, oh, the park is, we want, I don't know, for some reason, DOE, this is like goes into a black hole of education, and nothing, they, such a different, agency.
Okay. On to
Okay,
the real funds,
yeah.
expense.
When did we talk about?
I'm gonna make a motion to just take it as it is.
You
will.
Wait, what?
This case.
Alright.
Okay.
So we don't have, am I incorrect in stating that there is no NYPD like patrol request on this sheet?
Off of this sheet, no, I mean, we certainly had it from last year, and we can.
We had 2 or 3.
I'm proposing to add 3 things here, which are
Yeah.
3, because they are none. They are not on NYPD, it's NYPD, it's not even.
Alright, what are the 3 things? Chris?
Right. So one would be to say, fund additional people to walk the blocks, you know, right now they have an area which is ridiculous. So even though they are walking the block, you never see them. So we need to get them to walk.
Well, we've had a foot patrol, yeah.
That was an ask.
Yeah.
Last year, that was.
And we never got it.
I don't have it in front of me, if someone.
Right.
Ella said she had-
So I think
she
we
was
need to
reading
put
last year's.
this task back into that.
Yes.
Then we
That was our
have,
number 1, I think.
then I think we should ask for enforcement across the board. Like for all vehicular activities,
E-bikes.
e-bikes, any vehicles.
Yeah.
You know, anything which does the wrong
Traffic
thing.
laws, yeah.
Traffic laws, I think
I
we
agree.
should ask for that because we have heard it
Yes.
over and over and over from everybody.
But when you say enforcement,
Yeah.
I
you're talking about more people.
Yeah, I'm putting
Correct.
people at the
I
corner
just wanna.
and giving tickets.
Yes.
Right.
And getting tickets.
So I think we need to ask for that. We may not get it, but we need to ask for that.
But,
I'm sorry, wait, can you just say the third thing?
The third one, so the third one is, I'd like to ask, and it should not be too difficult for them to do a report of crime stats by community goal. Because for us, it's impossible to figure what are the relevant crime stats.
Right.
right? Because they report crime stat and we have like this much of.
You know, if they go by precinct and the precinct.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, but
I
it's
think
all
they'll tell you
coded.
that they can't.
It's all coded, I mean, it's easy
I
to do,
yeah.
I have had people do it. But it's easy
Why
to,
would we put number 3 in expense anyway?
what is number 3?
The report.
Your
Sorry.
report of crime stats by community board, why is that an expense item? I don't.
It's a one-time, it's.
Because these are people coding that stuff,
Oh, okay.
these are people writing the software,
Oh.
But anyway, so this would be in addition to two things, we had two things we had from HHS funding for increase in street homelessness outreach. And then enhance the park safety through pet officers. And when you look at all those pieces, it gives you a package of,
Yes.
safety, quality of life, better stuff. And that matches what we got from the survey.
And also what we've been hearing
Right, and what
throughout the
we've
year.
been hearing for the whole year.
across the
So-
board of committees.
So that would be these are two things which were already in number 1 for HHS and WPE. And 3 new things because nobody was doing.
Well, they're not new because we had them last year.
No, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
they're existing, and then there would be 3 new things which I am bringing as NYPD because nobody was doing it.
No, I mean, that wasn't new, that was last year,
Yeah.
we asked for more, and you're right, we asked for more boots on the ground and.
Well, that's
So
the
we
other,
asked for foot patrol, but I guess the thing you're asking about, well, I guess we just have to maybe get more specific about it, but the thing you're asking about enforcement.
right,
That's new.
That's new,
yes,
and I don't think it's related to anything that has been, discussed during a letter in the past.
oh, yeah, oh, please, I mean, in transportation,
Well, no, and maybe again, this goes to language. My recollection is that we have talked about, the huge safety problem with e-bikes and that sort of thing. But I thought we were talking about making a more general request, because I thought we'd said sort of enforcement generally. Like,
yeah. But when we come to the budget, we need to do something, and what is that we are doing?
So you're asking for increased traffic specific personnel
Yes.
to enforce.
Yes,
the
all,
FFPO's
and that's
vehicle and
include,
traffic laws.
that's
Yeah.
include the vehicles, the
Yeah.
vehicles are running red
Red
lights,
lights.
right and left. They are,
Yeah.
so if,
But it's not tickets for public urination or loitering.
yeah,
no, it's not,
It's traffic.
It's traffic.
it's purely for
traffic.
traffic.
okay, that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
And I know one other thing.
No, that's.
It's
NYPD.
But it's NYPD traffic.
The e-bikes, the
Just
mopeds,
is
No. So, but I'm getting clarity on this, like, so it's renew, the proposal is updating the language from schools, request for additional officers on
foot patrol, that's number 1.
Right,
That's number, suppose tentatively number 1. The second being an enforcement, the focus of additional staff for enforcement of traffic, right?
well, no, the second one would be the first of DHS, which is increasing street.
No, I'm just asking what you're proposing.
Yeah,
The
that's
second, so really, number 1 is already done, we're just
Right.
updating language, number 2 is the new,
right,
and then
and this is
third.
something we had a long time ago, and we dropped, by
Okay,
the way.
and then, and the number 3 is the study is new.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
report.
So it's really 2 new and then one old,
Right.
okay.
But are you
That's what-
proposing to put that, where do you propose to put that in relation to the DHS?
I was proposing to put the first one for, the people on the blogs, number 1,
Yeah.
right? Then putting the DHS and DPR, the 2 HHS and WPE. And then adding the transportation enforcement.
Number 4.
And then adding the, the report, I mean, the
Okay, yeah.
summary, so we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
That was my thought. And the reason why you would put it up front is as we discussed, and then you could continue with everything else.
Could we ever ask
Oh,
for
I second that.
a summary of a police, police crime by community board or community?
Yes,
We have asked for that,
So-
so there is a letter.
well, when we,
No,
I put in the Dropbox, the crime stats for all 4 precincts, 8 crime stats for the year, which breaks it down by, I believe by precinct as well. But no, we've never asked for what we have done in the past is asked that, a very big ask, which is that they redefine the precinct boundaries to meet
Right.
the community district boundaries, which we all know is
Good luck.
a gigantic
Right.
lift citywide, and I will say also, we are not the worst. They've got much more complicated
Really?
issues. Oh, yeah, I mean, they've got crazy things where like a development is half in one precinct and half in another precinct, and so it's crazy, so,
So
back
back when we were doing our racial and social justice task force. And we were very much focused on certain sort of safety and police related issues. We were told by various police precincts that there is no way to break out by community boards law.
Yeah, but this is
So
massive BS, because I had somebody in technology at the Levin's office, at the VP's office, who went to the database. And he just totally organized it.
exactly, and so. Couple things. One, I think that if we want this report, we shouldn't be asking HPD for the report.
Not as PD, it's NYPD.
I'm sorry, not NYPD, I think we should be asking the Borough President's office. Because they're the ones who authorize and organize the community boards, they're the ones who know what our districts are, and they're the ones who can then pull the information together, do you know what I mean? Or at least we can-
Yeah, well, but.
and if they need to go to NYPD, so anyway, it's just a thought. But I also think one of our sensitivities on the task force was that we certainly didn't want to make it look like we were looking for or supportive of a lot more sort of tracking and enforcement stuff, right? So I think we just have to be careful about the language we're using, really specific, especially if our number one ask is gonna be something about more enforcement. I think we have to be really careful about our language about enforcement.
Well, our number one ask,
Our number
our
one
number
ask
one
is
is
foot
foot
patrol.
which I don't think
Number
is.
two is,
Yeah.
number two is the.
Right, I think food patrol is everybody.
No, we've already had it, we
And
all.
I think it's a
that
very
came out of the task
good,
force.
I think it's a very good,
Yeah,
Y'all
what's
can't
the
talk
problem
at the
with it?
same
That's
time,
what-
cause I can't hear everything. So he was talking at the same time. I can't hear him. Is there anyone in the room who wishes to speak further? I see we have a hand from member.
I guess I'm just wondering, sorry, because I've lost track now a little bit. So the enforcement thing that I think you proposed
On transportation specific.
on transportation specific is about having more officers to enforce traffic, to catch and enforce on traffic violations, right? Because I think one of the things that has happened recently is that there are a lot more cameras, right? And one of the things we talked about on the Racial and Social Justice Task Force is that we actually have a tremendous cameras, and there are some real privacy issues. And sometimes how the information is used, so I think we might want to specifically say we're talking about more people to enforce the traffic laws on the cameras and or on the corners. And we are not asking for yet more cameras.
okay,
The one thing I would just push back on that ever so slightly, I believe that there was just this past week, a report that emerged that showed cameras offer a massive decrease in racial bias in all sorts of traffic stops. I'm not saying that we should ask for more cameras, but just that if, like, we're not asking for more cameras. I'm not suggesting that we do that. That wasn't a request, but that, red light cameras probably.
well, red light.
That was
and
today,
Speeding, right?
It's not 60,000.
There was an announcement today about,
Absolutely.
we're getting more cameras.
We're getting more cameras.
No one has
This is our request. This
Yes.
request is that we have a problem. And let's say at the level of, we need
Yes.
solutions for the problem.
Correct.
Right.
In a general
Right.
way, as opposed to being prescriptive by saying.
Speed cameras.
Right.
So, yeah,
Well, I was gonna say I had a question. Your three suggestions, I thought were coming out of the survey.
well, yes, it was in part in reaction to the survey. The survey said safety is the top priority, right? Plus, during the whole year in transportation, we have heard enormous support for what do we do about bikes, e-bikes on the sidewalk, this, and then we have the number of people injured and dead
So
will
I-
continue to go up. So when you take all of that together, you see, well, there is room for better enforcement of the vehicular traffic. And that's what
Including
I'm
e-bikes.
Well, I do like your three ideas, but I'm thinking, I'm looking at the survey, I'm looking at your suggestions, and I'm like, I don't understand, like, where enforcement of the traffic laws fits into the survey. And
Because improve safety and improve quality of life is then people turn
the
around.
quality of life.
Yeah, people turn around and say, okay, how come the cops are not doing more enforcement? And we keep telling them, you have to ask NYPD, we can't do that.
It also comes out in the, if you were able to read the survey responses, there are some comments and in under crime and public safety, there were some transportation specific, the car's double parked and this has obscured my view, can't properly cross the street, why won't the police enforce this law?
And also in unloading and loading, like Amazon and all those things,
And
congestions and the bicycles.
And also this suggestion, I think, does something well, is that it holds different committees, like it cross committees. It's not just one committee has heard about this stuff. I know WPE has heard about stuff in parks and also the e-bikes and parks, we were talking about that. So it's kind of killing 2 or 3 or 4 birds with one axe.
And the community is telling us something, I mean, we may not like it individually, personally, but the community is telling us, sending us a strong message.
So can we summarize what are the top 5 at this
Yeah,
point?
so at this point, we have a top 4 and we can discuss, I guess, and correct me if you think that is incorrect. The first being the increased foot patrols, the second being street homeless outreach, the third being personnel for NYPD traffic.
No, pet,
No, yeah.
Okay, so the third is PEP and then the fourth is.
right,
Third is PEP.
Third
Which
is
is the first step.
Fourth. Is that, and fifth is,
Wait, I'm sorry, what's fourth?
the fourth would be
What is
the,
the enforced traffic?
the traffic
Traffic
enforcement,
enforcement.
Fourth traffic.
and fifth would be
The report.
the report, which.
Can we make funding, can we make ACEs before the report?
Yeah, sure.
So
I
5.
think the report being so new, I think it's a concept, I think should not, I think you've got other things on it that are. Like
Higher.
higher, they're gonna end up having to explain it full board.
Right.
So what, Jesse, would you say we should do all of the first requests of the remaining committees before doing that?
So just be quick, we would say ACEs is number, the
5.
after school is 5,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So are you proposing 6 be there are 2 DOB requests that follow?
Yeah.
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 And then the study, and then you have to decide if you have this other study here, Christine.
Yeah, the other study is the expense for doing 9th Avenue, so you could put it after that, but you can put it anywhere you want. I mean, I was just trying to,
No, I hear what you're saying.
I was trying to be
Okay, so let's-
reactive
let's-
to the.
Let's park the study for a
Yes.
second and
Right.
say, no pun intended, and let's say, how do we wanna prioritize the next 2 the DOB requests?
Yeah,
Is
that's
one more
fine.
important than the
Or
other?
fix them the way they are.
The way
They are is fine.
Yeah, we're good.
Hold on, before we get, it's gonna come up further down, which kind of goes into this theme, it's a DS. And we only have 2 of DSNY requests for expense, but one is the syringe cleanup, which is
Oh, yeah.
environmental
We should
use.
move it up.
So if we're doing a theme,
Yes, I
we
agree.
should put that in there.
So are we proposing that be 6? Syringe cleanup? After schools?
Syringe cleanup? Syringe cleanup.
Well, you want to put it after the 2
It's
DOBs,
environmental
right?
police.
Oh, here. You can put it before DOT.
Yeah, I think you're right, I think the syringe cleanup and then I think the translation. Both you got translation for Ryan Chelsea Health Center
Right.
and then. Technology for schools, I think, in my opinion, going with DOB.
I'm comfortable with them.
That's more.
Yeah.
Okay.
So So sorry, it's, so syringes would be syringes we got 6, I think you're saying?
No, 7. Oh, yes, 6, I'm sorry.
Where's syringes now, I'm sorry?
It's,
It's a number 3 request.
No, but you want to keep DYCD, right? ACEs,
Yes,
right?
so that's 5.
So you go after that.
yeah, so it would be 6.
So syringes,
I wonder
How
why
is
it's
Yeah.
maybe
Growth.
so that's gonna be,
Right.
Yeah.
that's gonna be
Because
6.
test is on number 1, which is our number
And so there,
there,
that's 6.
and then it's gonna jump over to Park staff,
Then
then
Ryan
you
is
said-
7,
it's still gonna be.
translation services 7. Student technology is 8,
Yeah, and then we go back into the group.
and then we go back to DOB stuff is 9. And 10.
Yes,
Sorry, what was 8?
8 was the expanded funding to maintain student technology, the ACES request, number 2.
Yeah. Okay, so
The
now,
Wi-Fi is
then we
good.
do DOB 9 and 10,
And 10,
and then 11
DOT,
is DOT, and then.
What's
wait,
DOT? What's the DOT?
Is this
that's the 9th Avenue study that we canceled on
on
Capitol.
page 2, it's TPC's first request,
Yeah.
number 1.
And we think we're going to get it next year, which is why we put it up.
Yeah.
The CHSC is the second,
Okay, got it, sorry.
so that's 11.
That's another.
I just think can park staff be top 12?
Oh,
That's a big, it's not in the safety realm, but it's just general park.
And
staff.
it's connected to the bathroom, we care about bathrooms.
Here at park staff, yeah.
That-
Did you move up the translation?
yes,
Yeah, translation is set up.
So-
Where's park staff, what number is that?
So it was our second ask, but we flipped it with our syringe now to fit the theme of the,
it's the
Right.
third aspect, page
so
2.
so now it's our third ask.
I am I'm gonna make a plug for keeping the Clinton Hell's Kitchen code enforcement request, because of its place within the realm of like quality of life and the number of letters that have come out of the committee, on illegal demos and like other issues here. I don't know if anyone else feels differently, but I actually, like, we are consistently writing these letters, and I wouldn't necessarily want it to drop any further.
I agree, I agree.
Which not in.
Well said.
So that's
I think that's a
13.
So I would keep it, and that would make, no, there's the second,
You mean wanna make the second one, the 1 and 2 inspector, the 2 inspector request?
there's a third, code enforcement request from DOB. So this would, so we, and I guess
Which,
so we have,
Oh,
the
yes.
number 1 for, Clinton and Chelsea were both DOB specific staff, they're not inspectors. The second for, Clinton, land use is code enforcement. And we have thus far, I think that this year, we've probably had like 4 or 5.
I would make that 10 and
Yeah.
switch to the yes stuff.
I think that I don't disagree with that. I think that's,
All right, so
And then
the code
makes-
enforcement is 10, you said,
yeah,
which
And then-
makes the city of Yes.
11. Unless you disagree.
I mean, yeah, it's a new request, so I'm okay if we feel like there's other stuff that's a priority.
Yeah, I'm sure if 3 DOB requests so high up. I mean, I know it's a chronic issue and obviously our land use colleagues in the special districts, but. I don't know.
I think 3 is too much, 3. 1 or 2 would tell the story.
I think so, and I,
I guess one of the questions I'm having, and I don't know if we actually have anyone who is on. Leslie, are you on Clinton or,
Yes.
What is the justification for putting the other? Staffing requests above code enforcement when the committee has written so many letters about?
I'm new to the committee.
Okay,
So I
sorry.
don't really know, and also we didn't have a meeting, actually, Jesse, we didn't even have a meeting last.
You did, this month you had a meeting.
Was I there? I think I was there.
it was, you were there. you
So
raised
I
the
can say the number 1,
You
which is the
okay.
website.
You were
It's all
sitting
on the
back
website.
there.
Oh,
Is
yes,
that it's
You asked
been a
the
request
question,
yes.
from the very
Yes.
beginning, this whole process was one of the things we were saying, that solve this is DOB updating the
Question of
website.
the intrepid.
So I think that's why that's number 1, we were like the 1 and 2 dedicated inspectors concept. And that, was that the answer to your question?
I mean, yes, I guess that
Yeah.
would, that's the reason I,
But, yeah, I mean, I agree that, you know, like, it's a, it would seem like a simple ask. But I also think if we're really the most effective, I think the bigger request would be the 1 and 2 to the special districts, which is covering Clue as well.
so that would make basically
I
the,
can see it switching out.
the website being 9, the,
No, I'm saying the 1 and 2 inspectors being 9,
okay, yeah.
and then the website being 10. And then I think the city of Vesta, I think
We could do
it's a valid request that makes sense, it's in our letter.
But it can be lower than,
But I do think if we have other stuff that we think is,
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like, again, kind of channeling Carrie, who I think was really passionate about having this one on there for the reason you said, which is like, you're gonna say you're gonna do all these things, and then how are you gonna have the staff to do it? But I also think that there's, you know, there's a lot of enthusiasm and urgency around the DSNY request for colored school number 4. And so obviously they prioritize City of Yes first because it has broader and citywide, it has broader reach. But I do think
that was making that number 11.
I just think you've got, looking down on this right where we are right now. Like, I think I'm fine, I would say I'm kind of okay with starting from number 2. A clue, which is page 3, right?
Yep.
Right, I'm fine with. This order that gets what Leslie's asking for, park staff in the top, in the top 12, until we hit number 3 of ACES, which is expand funding for pre-K and 3K seats. And the optics around that being so low.
Oh, that's a really.
Lower than all of this other stuff, so I think if we can jump that, put that up to the right after, let's say, the code enforcement.
Yeah.
Right,
The pre-K seats, you mean?
or maybe no, I'm sorry, but. Yeah, moving the pre-K seats up.
So that would be 10, right, the pre-K seats. So
I
we should say,
I think that should be top 5.
Right now, we have
But-
that would be 12, because we're up to 12 on the study, so with the sidewalk capacity study is number 11.
But, by the way, I'm sorry, Jesse, I didn't realize, thank you I think the expanding for pre-K and 3K should like be top 5, I mean, it should be up there, or top maybe 7.
I think
And that's such in the news now, there's such a push, and it's been, I mean, the mayor pulled them back, then he said he got them, then he didn't really get them,
yeah,
it's been tough.
I guess that, like, just a couple of things, which is just like ACES has this at number 3. I'm not trying, I don't like that we have to like, prioritize these, but ACES put it at number 3, so they put 2 other requests above that, and then, like within the survey, there appears to be, less interest in that than some other items. I'm not saying that that means it should be lower, but if we are trying to like balance listening to the survey, and listening to the committees.
I serve on ACES and, I don't,
It's that low, actually.
to be honest with you, I think this may have been a miss on our part, like, I don't recall us. I mean, I think we were all like, oh, these are all important, I don't think we noticed. That, that pre-K and 3K was below, maintaining student technology.
I
Like,
agree.
I
I
agree
wanted
with
to,
that.
so when I went back.
Yeah,
I would swap those.
So then,
And
Yeah.
student technology though has been number 1 coming out of the pandemic, because in the
Yeah, the Wi-Fi,
pandemic, it was
yeah,
such
the
a big
iPad,
issue.
right, yes.
so
It was, and the reason why you guys put it so high, is so the conversation with the superintendent, that was his first thing out of his mouth. Was
Yeah.
that, so I would just say that that's probably why, that doesn't mean I don't disagree, I mean, I do agree with your rationale for changing it.
Yeah, I
If you
do,
wanna swap it out, I don't think that's necessarily,
I mean, that would get it top 5.
Yeah, you got to swap that.
Yeah.
But
right?
but we are concerned about you know.
Katie's representing ACES right now.
Well, Ella agrees, if she's on ACES,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're on ACES.
The
and I'm-
DOB,
She's on
and
ACES, so the three of us are
if
voting
we are
here.
concerned about affordable, you know, safety and then affordable housing. We need to come out of that, those things that help the affordable housing, right? This is.
Yes,
this
but
is part of
I
it.
will say
That's
that,
part of
that's
it.
true, but I will say the pre-K, it's not just the seats, right? It helps, you know, parents who wanna work,
No,
it
yeah,
helps
yeah,
affordability, it helps, it's
That's
a big.
granted.
But also, so it's not in the top five, it'd be 8, because technology right now is 8.
Okay,
So if we're comfortable with that, we can just make that swap.
okay.
Yes. So we're gonna make the.
Can you go to the top eight?
I do find the language, I don't know if someone in ACES can go back, I find this language quite unclear though, the current 253 50 seats are nearly at full capacity with a wait list. I don't know,
Yeah,
okay,
that's-
that's like,
It's cut literally.
is that because of,
So, whatever.
You know what, you're right, it's like.
it might be.
You're right,
because
we can
some
look into that,
schools
yeah.
are not others, but I
Maybe
just
that
think
some
for
schools
purposes
have
of here,
substantial wait
it's
list,
like-
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So what's the top eight?
so 8, so our new 8 is the expanding funding for 3K.
Yep.
And 3K.
Yep.
And then we would move. If we wanted to do this, move the student technology to 12.
Yeah.
But the issue is that, just going back to what, park staff is not in that.
Well, then park staff will be
13.
That's, I mean, I think, not to go against my own committee, but I do think the pre-K thing is.
I think this
seats
is solid.
are
If
more.
you're fine with that, that's.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Okay, so
going to be-
then, so that would be 13. 14 would be the, moving along the RFP for the 128 West 17th Street, aka College School number 4,
Wait, I'm sorry, you said that would be 14?
that'd be 14. Number 15, I mean, as we're going.
Yeah.
Number 15 would be install bike corrals. Number 16, increase HPD funding to scope of emergency repair programs. 17 would be the provide additional funding for Department of Buildings Enforcement Inspectors for non-compliant ADA entrances. Seventeen, 18 would be reduce backlog for LPC. 19 would be study the redirection of traffic from northbound Dyer. 20 would be NYCHA elevators, or this is staffing for the elevator program.
Shouldn't we move that up?
It's the inspectors rather than the capital, at least right now, the problem is not that there are, I mean, there is eventually going to be a problem, but, or a mechanic, but they would need the money to perform those repairs in the first place.
21, expend funding for DYCD, language, secondary learning. 22, provide funding for to migrate DOB building information system over to DOB's new online system, DOB Now. I'll just say about this. This is a new request.
What does it say?
So DOB has had,
Two systems.
for decades, has had a system called Building
Yes,
Information
yeah,
System. They built a new system called DOB Now. Very fancy, it's very pretty. But the two systems cannot work together. And so basically, all of the old, Biz is becoming an archive, which is still very useful for things like that we run into, like what Roberta was talking about, is like finding buildings that are legally demoed and stuff like that. But it is frustrating sometimes when you have to look in both systems to try to find a document. I will agree that it's frustrating, but it is also like a massive project. And it is also a new request.
And it's not going to happen.
So let's move that down below.
I don't mean to like, and I'm the one that's looking up on these websites, so I just want to say that, like.
And I would definitely move it down, but, you know.
Are you proposing to move it be below all of the number fours or the number fives, or are you
I'm
Just thinking
proposing
out
to
loud.
drop it to the bottom.
Yeah.
So our last.
before
Yeah.
continued
It's,
work?
I get it, it's a sense, but it isn't, it's very new.
Who was it a request from?
Clinton Allen's Kitchen Language.
So it sounds like you're saying that then 22 would be the funds for the inspectors to investigate the structural stability, is that right? All right,
Playground Associates would be 23. Signal timing on 9th Avenue would be 24. Expanding programs for seniors, gift and meals program, 25. I mean, I think rather, don't we keep on going, or do we just?
No.
that's
You're saying
I'm
we
sorry,
should
can
be
you
or
work 1 through 10 again, how we're doing 1 through 10?
Alright, for what I have for 1 through 10. Number 1 is our pre-existing NYPD requested more foot patrol,
Yeah.
we will update the language with something
Yeah,
new
right.
and different. Number 2 is the homeless outreach, street homeless outreach teams.
Yep.
Okay, number 3 is PEP. Number 4 is a additional staffing for
Traffic.
NYPD and traffic enforcement.
Oh, and that's not anywhere on the list at the moment.
No, that's
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
Number 5 is the after-school funding.
Yep.
Give me a second.
6 is.
Number 6 is DSNY Environmental Police Unit for the syringes.
So may I say something, as much as I love, I think the pre-K seats should be before a syringe unit collection.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you, so then we would flip 6 and 8 as
No,
well.
I wouldn't, I don't know if I would. flip it.
What's
What, keep going, keep
your-
going down, I'm sorry, keep going down, so I know well, it's not, no, because it's not it's not, it's not a.
No one has a problem with it.
So right,
I don't know what I'm up to yet.
Keep going.
you just said
Syringe,
six.
you have
This is
syringe, you have
6 for the syringe.
6 is syringe, 7 is expanding funding to the Ryan Chelsea Health Center for translation services.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
I'm just in my head saying, what is pre-K?
Wait,
So-
You
Wait
were about
until
to
we get to
it.
the 10, hold on.
No, I'm saying, what is it, Tyler? Go ahead.
That was
7,
7.
Right,
then 8 is.
8 is expand funding for pre-K.
okay, there, but, right,
Wait, okay.
Number
so
9
it's-
is Department of Buildings Code Enforcement, 1 to 2 inspectors for special districts.
10 is City of Yes,
City, 10 is City of. Yes. EOB.
City of
Oh,
Yes,
no,
no,
sorry.
I have
It's
this, the
not.
tech
It's
update.
Yeah, I had.
Yeah,
the
that's what I got, I had
top
the tech, I had the
Oh.
tech.
I think you
Yeah.
made a case for
I have
that.
two questions, where is the DOT, the capacity, is it number what now?
I have it as 12, is that match
Okay,
up with what you have? Okay.
and then,
Wait, no, give me a second, I was just.
But also,
shaking
let's
my
just
head
go
like
back
a
to,
crazy
so
person.
10 is, expand tech for DOB.
Yeah,
And 11
was City of
is,
Yes.
no, but I think we.
Number 11 is the sidewalk sign.
Sorry, didn't we say that the code enforcement for 1 and 2 dedicated inspectors should be bundled with the other DOB request?
So it's
No.
9,
That
not
was 9.
bundled, but
That
it'll
was
be
9.
9 and then 10.
We certainly, if we want to bundle, we could, I could see us bundling the 1 and 2 inspector, it's up to, I defer to Roberta. The 1 and 2 inspector thing, including it into the City of Yes stuff. If we want to, it is basically
oh, that's a good
inspectors.
idea.
I mean, we're asking for inspectors. You know, with I will say the special district enforcement concept is slightly more unique. It's a slightly more unique ask than just having inspectors for City of Yes. But I could see us if we wanted to, for the sake of making everything.
And number 4 was traffic enforcement?
Yes.
may I make a suggestion then? Since the syringes is number what now? Sorry.
8.
6,
No.
you move to 8.
It's
Oh,
6.
sorry, 6, move it to 8.
6, no, I'm just saying, cause it goes 6 is syringes, and there was something below it. I'm just saying, put the pre-K ask, just right above syringes, and it moves only like 2 or 3 things just down
No,
one.
we moved everything. Oh, down.
No, but it doesn't, it just moves 2 or 3 things, because it was below 2 or 3 spaces.
I would put it right behind the survey.
Yeah, I would also just based on the survey, based on the,
I would put it right behind the syringe, doesn't make a big difference. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it becomes seven.
Yeah.
So we're switching 7 for 8.
Right.
What was 7 again?
seven is
was the-
Ryan.
That was Ryan, okay.
What, Christine, where's your suggestion of prime report?
Yeah, I was going to ask, where is
We
it?
haven't, I took
It
it,
was,
we took
it
it,
was
I
put
think
on,
we put it to
tag
the
on
side.
the side.
What?
So where do we put the crime report? So
Sure.
put it number 20, number
We're
what?
at, I stopped counting at 25, so you want me to put it in 26?
That seems arbitrary.
I mean, I still have,
No, I know.
you
So
know,
what's the
6
number?
4 more
What
pages
is
of
the,
requests.
what is the thing, 26? What is 25?
25 is senior gifted meal.
Okay, 26.
You'll give me the wording on this when you want the study.
I would have said yes, it has to.
So we,
We did it.
I have it up to 10, I'm a little shaky after that, but then I'll confirm with you. Okay.
So do we wanna just summarize the 10 and vote? I think we
We did,
basically
right.
just did, we did. Does anyone have any questions or unclear on any of the numbers here?
I actually am, just sort of just.
No,
What is the city of yes?
yeah, I'm also unclear on this. city.
I think the city of yes got bumped.
No, the city of
Well-
yes, we have at 11.
At 11.
Well, we have 2 things at 11.
Yeah, we have 2 things at 11.
So
It's like city of yes
Jessica
got lost.
proposed potentially bundling. Is that something that you think would be appropriate? Given, I know that Carrie has advocated for the city of yes. Do we want to bundle it with the special district items in that we are asking for more inspectors? And to frame it up, like, we have these special districts, this has been a problem. We anticipate with city of yes, this will be a
I
problem.
mean, that's in part the city of yes request is to ensure that the special districts are not overlooked or. I think we can get there.
I think we
So
can bundle these, it's,
So
at the
that's
end of the
not
day,
the-
it's the same budget line, we're asking for additional inspectors. So we wanna put the
Alright.
city of yes with.
And that'll
the-
put it at 9, so
we're
it'll
putting it at
bundle
9, yeah.
with the code enforcement at 9.
Okay, and so what happened at 10?
10 is the,
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna-
No, 10 is technology at
Yes.
DOB, 11 is your
Yes.
capacity.
I should be before technology at
I'm
DOB.
fine,
Yeah.
it would be
Really,
reasonable.
really.
okay, so,
Otherwise, there was no TPC in the first.
so technology,
Yeah.
DOB technology is 11, and sidewalk capacity is 10.
And
Wait,
you,
hold on.
Adding.
Technology is 10, we said?
No,
no, sidewalk capacity
It
is
just
10.
moved.
That makes sense.
This is 11. Sidewalk capacity.
Yeah, we have quorum, but thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a great meeting.
Oh, yeah, so is it 8? Oh, yeah.
We are going to vote on this,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah,
Okay,
Motion.
motion,
Second.
so all those in favor in voting in the order as we just detailed for to adopt the expense, budget.
Yes.
Any opposed, any other things?
Is there anyone in the public, is there someone from the public that has?
What?
she did.
Yeah.
And Susan, everyone.
Something is wrong.
But
Well, that's true.
are there any open items or discussions that we have not had this evening that anyone feels that we need to have in public?
No.
I just wanna make sure we are comfortable with the other entire section of this document, which is the narrative.
That's what,
Oh, I'm
Yes.
going to work
Oh,
on
I'm sorry, I
Yes.
think that,
Yeah, this is where I
Oh,
think
let's-
we need,
yeah, what are the first things?
so for the narrative, now that we have this, the narrative continues to be a little bit of a work in progress. Please, put your sections into the document if you haven't already, many of you have, so, or I have done it because you sent them to me. I am going to rework the narrative to include the topic, it's basically the same, but I will try and frame it up with, some of the responses from the survey. Are there I am also going to flag for the committee chairs to please look at this prior to exec. And are there any outstanding concerns or questions?
So are you keeping the same framework as last year where we started with the community district for trends, which kind of like gave us an overview of where we can kind of put in of what we've been hearing over the year of concerns. We did trends that way, and then there was the immediate issues. I think we had, I mean, this isn't gonna, migrant crisis, neighborhood effects, illegal cannabis shops, moped use, e-bike moped use. Are you thinking of the same framework as that and just kind of updating that, or are you reworking the whole?
I think that we can keep that format unless you would like us to change it.
No, I'm just.
I think that is the intent, but I will,
But some of that's gonna shift. though.
Yeah, what are the
You're
immediate issues?
You're just talking about the framework, not about the content.
Right.
You're asking about the
Well,
framework.
the first
So
question.
the first question
framework.
is the
Right, that's what
framework.
I'm saying. So
Do
we're
we
keeping
do
the
the
framework.
immediate stuff or
We're
not?
keeping we wanna keep the immediate.
Did
you wanna
we,
keep-
immediate stuff we did because of COVID, right? We
No,
didn't do
immediate-
that before, or is it a normal part of the?
No, it's a more recent change, but
Okay,
it has been
we
a
added,
few
like-
years. It's
Okay,
been a few years we've been doing this.
Yeah,
okay, so what are the immediate threats?
yeah.
so I would
Whatever it is.
replace, the content will come from the like survey responses as well as the top issues from the letters that have come out of committees.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's really important that we focus on. That it not just be the survey, because as we know, fewer people replied to the survey, we have to include that, but we also have to include like. And the issues that have been in our letters and the issues that people have spoken about at all of our public meetings.
Well, that's what we did last year. That's why we needed a spot. It was really because or 2 years, we needed to find a spot for illegal cannabis shops. Like, where can we talk about that? The e-bikes and where can we talk about that? And we did that under what we called immediate issues, meaning like what we have been writing about and hearing throughout the year. I mean, I would add to that, there's things that we should add, but I just didn't know if you had a
But
list
what
yet.
would be the new thing you?
Like for us, like, you know, safety in parks, syringes in parks would be an immediate, you know,
Okay.
things, and I'm sure you might have.
Right,
I don't know.
no, I'm just trying to figure, if we were going to write about that, that would be different. And certainly e-bikes and all that stuff would be part of it.
Okay, so let's go down the list, right? Can you put on the list what we've got?
Right.
Right, so we've got the migrant crisis and neighborhood effects.
That might change, right, a little, I don't know.
I don't think we want that.
Yeah, I think that's.
Less.
Let's keep on going. So then after that, we have the legalist cannabis shops. I think that stays,
Yeah,
right?
But I think we should
It does.
acknowledge that there has been a.
Yeah, no.
no, he's saying.
I'm just saying,
the-
keeping the topic, I
Yeah.
agree, we have to update the language.
Yeah.
We have to, the legislation has changed, there's enforcement for sure.
Yeah.
Right, e-bike and moped use, I think we keep.
It's still a
connected to
safety
the-
issue.
It's connected to the request we have, and then also to the survey, and then, continue to deteriorating street life conditions.
Yeah,
And then just to go back to the,
What is that?
That's the homeless.
no, that is, we have here, that's meaning, yes,
It's everything. It's
Drug
everything.
shops,
It's-
things
We talked about the homeless, we talked about the asylum, and we talked about a lot. I mean, it's.
But there have also been improvements there too, so again, we just have to.
Yeah.
well, it's changed, like now there's syringes in parks that we're seeing that we didn't see before, you know, as much before.
And
So I think,
And it's not throughout the whole district.
Correct.
so I think we wanna, for the sake of streamlining. The migrant crisis and neighborhood effects, we're okay with removing completely.
so what the
Okay,
potential rework would, from just this coming out of HHS, would be to just turn it into something that is about serving, about social services, so specifically serving those who are here, and that it just, because there's the increased demand is there. It's
Yeah, there's
just,
still,
yes,
yeah,
like, and the
the
schools,
schools are being.
and so I have it as like serving New Yorkers being a different framing, which is like, the buses aren't at Port Authority every week, but we need resources, like, we're not getting the resources we need for our schools, for our, you know, healthcare,
Okay.
community health.
I mean, the
centers like
tents
that.
are still there at Randall's Island too.
So okay, so then we're
Not in the
keeping,
district.
are we keeping
Not in the
everything?
district. No,
my
I-
place, my big place.
Are we,
No, I-
what's, do you have a rework on the continued deteriorating street life conditions thing, or is?
I I do not have one at this moment, but
I
I
can
can.
send you some stuff
work
on
on it.
WPE, I'm sure Dolores can. send
Yeah.
you.
And we did get some additional input from, I think Dolores on this, but I am hearing what Katie is saying about. Working in the positive plus the, the progress and then the places where we've regressed and.
Yeah.
Mixing those.
Absolutely.
It makes our advocacy stronger.
And then the next section was, MCB4's priorities include, and this is where we did a nice bullet point.
Mhm.
Is that framework you wanna keep to, Roberta, and highlight our, I guess, our biggest asks tied with district concerns, or are you gonna, what do you think?
I think that it would help, and I think Ella, I'm stealing from you, but that we could turn this into, have fewer bullets and turn it into more of an executive summary.
Yes, great.
And if I will draft this, you will see it. If you hate it or think it is inappropriate or you're missing something, like, we will include it.
Great, and that's also, just FYI, I don't know if you're thinking this, but that's also where we kind of put our CB4 related documents, like we footnoted a lot there, so people could. And then the next thing was, the top 3 pressing issues overall, which we did take from the survey for the most part, and it was affordable housing. This is weird, I don't know why we did this, Jesse. We put affordable housing as our first one, but then in our second one, we had crime and public safety, and then it says, our recent district-wide survey, this was by far and away the #1 concern area.
Yeah, because I do still think the survey is not.
All
Yeah, it's the
PDF.
only thing we do, we don't take the survey and just regurgitate it onto the documents.
Yeah,
I think we can recognize that affordable housing is still our #1 thing, and that we were acknowledging that the public safety. What I also think why we said that was because we don't, it's not, I know I'm stepping into something here that I don't necessarily open up at this point in time. But it wasn't like this, the public safety stuff was coming directly from a committee, particularly from the committee. So we want to acknowledge where it's coming from, which you're saying it came from the survey.
gotcha.
That's-
So you want to put that more in the immediate issue?
No, that's
right?
the top 3 pressing,
We can keep it.
that's our top.
I think we
pressing.
keep it, I think we keep it the same, I think affordable housing is still our. We're
Yeah.
known for it, we've got the
Yes.
study,
Yeah.
it is the first thing that comes out of our mouth every time we talk, so.
So, and then the third thing is what Christine and I were talking about our last meeting. We have trash removal and cleanliness as the 3rd most pressing issue. Is that what we're still gonna keep, or we're not? Remember, Christine, and we suggested to do the environment with the traffic and the environment, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the idea was the trash removal, we thought the trash removal
Yeah.
by now was better, but now we have a
The survey
survey
is saying,
which says, no, it's not there. So we had the idea of replacing one with the environment, right? Replacing trash with an environment
package, yeah.
package, but now I don't know. Now I
Yeah,
don't know,
maybe
because we have the
yeah.
trash, we should keep it the way it is for at least another year.
I mean, we can definitely stick some environmental stuff in there for the trash stuff. Roberta, if you want.
Yeah, and then like the trash winds up collapsing in some environmental stuff, like
Yeah.
composting, some quality of life issues.
Just like the traffic stuff can get put into the public safety section, right?
No, I know, I mean, it's just like, now that trash is there, I don't know
We
what you
can't
do, but
ignore
you
it,
could,
yeah.
you can't ignore it, or you. Yeah, I think putting environment now would be too much.
So maybe we put it in immediate issues.
Well, I have
Well,
to say, I think immediate issues is very confusing. Like,
I
I
think it
would
is.
think that you should put top 3 pressing issues overall, like
First.
that should be first. Because I didn't, when I first read this, I was like, what is immediate issue?
Yeah, so this,
That's-
why we can't
This
do
is
that.
why we, yes.
Why we can't do that is this, I mean, there's a new
It's a
platform,
problem.
so that there's some flexibility in that, I think that's fine. But the way, everything before #4 of
Yes.
the topic is our own design. Everything after it is pre-planned. It's
They
all
asked for our
drop-down.
3
It's
topics.
all
It's like
drop-down.
that,
I have no flexibility in that, and so that's why we did it the way it is.
So we
But
just,
I think I think we can, I don't think trash removal is the actual issue that people are complaining about. Cause what we're saying is it's about the street, it's about basket services, it's about sidewalks and
Garbage.
and illegal dumping and stuff like that, so I think if you wanted to say. I don't know,
Street
cleanliness is
cleanliness?
still the same word, but
Cleanliness.
cleanliness and environment. That I could see makes sense, and then if you're including environmental components to it, that allows it, because I do. don't
So
think
that
it's-
does acknowledge the survey, but also acknowledge what we've been
Yeah,
working on.
I think so.
But also you have to, you
So
know,
Roberta, I like,
change.
I think that's.
yeah, like composting and.
Because that's quality of life.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, air quality,
Yes.
quality of life, air quality,
Correct.
cleanliness, you know,
We're giving ourselves a wide.
crossing the streets.
Just because
Not
also we
getting
also know
killed.
there's so much changing in the trash pickups world right now with containerization, so I don't feel like focusing on saying, oh.
That's right.
It's too limited, it's too limited.
And plus she has it under
It's like if we
control.
were, yeah.
She has it under control.
Right, there's also.
The commissioner.
Oh, okay.
Right, they are working on it like crazy.
Yeah.
So this is not something that you.
So
need to
Roberta,
push.
we can help, we can massage that. last one.
Yes, yeah,
I mean, all of them,
but
but
that was.
specifically the last one, we can.
I mean,
definitely-
framing it around quality of life and noting the particularly vacant storefront commercial trash, how those fit together to air quality.
Yeah, we'll do
So we
something
need
that,
to read.
Oh, you know what, this is an issue, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think
I don't know if we're gonna be able to reword the title, because it is, they are drop downs.
Oh, really?
Well, I have to see the new system.
So we can't.
If we can put in our
change the
own,
title.
if we can put in our own, we'll put it
Right.
on, that's what we're doing.
And you're talking
Quality of
about
life,
for the.
He's talking about the immediate issue, right?
I'm talking about the top.
no,
three.
top, is quality of life a top three, or is that one of the drop downs?
I'm sure it is.
Then we can do
Yeah.
it with that.
Yeah, as long as that's.
Okay.
Yeah, if we can't, like, because the problem that, as I think we've established, is not actually DSNY specifically, it is.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
How do we send you the changes on that? It's just a red line or?
So you have shared with you a Google document, you can also email it to me.
I
I'm happy
did,
to.
where's the Google Doc?
So-
Did you send it to us?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't.
I just email her, email her.
But
But you
you
can
can
also-
also update it, right?
I have accepted most of people's changes,
Right.
but that doesn't mean
So
that everything
send
is
us
perfect.
could you send us the link again?
Yes, of
Because
course,
for
I
whatever
will,
reason
and you are, the Christine Emberte is on there.
No, what I want is that now I have to go back to your email and figure.
And then respond to my first.
And then I say, G Bodine, and I have like 2,000.
Yeah, right, exactly, yes, yes, I go through that.
Right,
So the attendees spoke already?
okay, that's good.
No one, they're gone.
They raised their hand, they took their hand down and.
They gave up.
Yes, but we
It was
have,
Miriam Fisher, and
from-
I had a sense that we would be hearing from Miriam Fisher.
And not only that, but we put that topic very.
You know what the
No,
topic was?
she wants to
What's
put
the
in
topic she would-
bus stops. And we said, Miriam, we have not discussed bus stop, we're going to discuss it this year, and we put it in next year.
Good.
Yeah.
3 times,
Process.
3 times. It's
don't
like
we
4
have bus stops?
No, but she's saying, and she has a point,
We
that
are-
bus stops are horrible, or
Yeah.
they are not
Oh, okay.
We
good.
did it, if you go off the curb, it's
Right.
right.
Just on the topic of our respective sections and the sections that go in there. So, for example, youth education and child welfare, which I think corresponds to ACEs, right? The format is most important issue related to youth education and child welfare. And then underneath it, it's educational attainment, which isn't, that's not like confined, like, that's not a unchangeable like section. Education.
No,
The
that,
subtitles
no, that's
are-
what ACES wrote. ACES wrote educational,
I see.
They
I see.
wrote that.
Last year, but, so that could be fungible for this year if that's not our top priority anymore. Educational
Correct.
attainment.
I think Josephine submitted, or Kit actually.
Because it's like, right now, our number one is library for ACEs, and then number two is the, pre-K.
You don't, it doesn't have to be so prescriptive.
No, no,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
You know, whether they're.
You don't wanna repeat.
Well, I mean, like, 'cause you're gonna have the budget requests underneath
Yes,
the written summary, so, you don't wanna,
I see.
you're not repeating yourself here. That's why you're sort of summarizing the narrative format of like what the overall concerns of.
Right, we have the spreadsheet.
In fact,
is
it's the
behind
opposite
it.
sometimes.
The spreadsheet is right behind it, it's the story. You
But
see,
the
this is
format that
spreadsheet.
it takes
Go
of
up.
most important issue.
Yeah, and you still have to pick it,
Go up.
you still have to pick a most important issue.
Yeah.
So, like, I
You're
wouldn't say library, because that's not gonna be an option, I would say,
pre-K, you could say.
pre-K or capital, capital projects or something along those lines, or,
Ella,
that would
just,
be-
if this would help, it's actually the opposite, because since we have the asks, the summary, we always wanted to do something that didn't have, you know what I mean, like, we wanted to expand, we didn't wanna just it was our chance really to say what we meant, you know, what we really feel, what we're hearing. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Not just to regurgitate what the priority list is. Does that make sense?
But at the same time,
It can't be
It
you.
has,
Yeah.
there's supposed to be some little, you know.
Yes,
Connection.
Connection, it can't be like,
Yeah.
you know, talking
Yeah.
about like, you know.
My dreams.
Or
were
yeah,
there.
exactly.
Like, you know,
I want a two-bedroom.
Every student
I
gets
have a
pass
progressive
tomorrow,
dream
so
for everybody, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
can I motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good,
Yeah.
I will send an email specifically, about the sections, and just to both the committee and then also to the
So-
committee chair.
Bert and I, we had a question about economic development, what is it that we are supposed to do here?
That's where you say that you
Develop
want
Economic.
a casino, that's where you put that in.
I'm gonna stop the video for.
Yeah, we're not